For over 800 years now, Saint-Emilion has been fighting fakes, copycats, copy Karens, copy Carls. Today, Saint-Emilion's modern physical defenses include everything from serialized labels to high-tech bubble tags. But before there were trademarks or, well, modern brand protection, there were kings, monks, and a few very passionate winemakers trying to protect what made their wine quite special. For international brands entering the US market today, a registered US trademark with the US Patent and Trademark Office does the exact same thing for your business. And it is the first and most important tool to fight copycats and counterfeiters. Bonjour, I'm Samantha, and if you're a non-US based business thinking about entering the US market, you are in the right place. I'm a small business and trademark lawyer, though I am not your lawyer quite yet, and I help brands like yours protect their identity and prevent copycats before they can ever touch your reputation. So if you're looking to expand into the United States of America, into that market, this isn't just a history lesson from Saint-Emilion's centuries of brand protection on wine. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how this tiny French town mastered brand protection and how those strategies can help you secure your brand, your company, and your entrance into the US market, online, offline, and at the border. So whether you're launching a product, service, or an entire business in America, by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly how US trademark law can help you prevent those copycats, safeguard your investment, and build trust with your customers. Saint-Emilion has been building trust since they could brand a label onto a barrel of wine. Today, they combine century-old legal frameworks, historic institutions, and modern trademarks across the globe to create a multi-layered legal defense so that they can make sure they're the only ones known as Saint-Emilion winemakers. If you want to understand the legalese behind this for your own multi-layered, internationally minded defense system for your brand, please grab our free international trademark checklist in the description below. It turns all the legal jargon into plain English and goes through some of the key differences between what trademarks look like internationally and the very bizarre system in the United States. International counterfeit protection is nothing new, and actually this is a perfect place to talk about it. Back in 1199, King John of England started a wine brotherhood called the Jargon, specifically to protect his interests in the wine region here in Bordeaux. This organization has been going on now for 800 plus years. It was dissolved during the French Revolution for a little while, but was revived again a couple decades ago. And this organization, among other things, is now the promoter of wines in this region, because this region has been known to be called by Louis XIV as the nectar of the gods, right? King John was so dedicated to it that he created this brotherhood in the first place. These organizations, industries like this, are the original versions of origin protection, trademark protection, brand protection. Now we have very clear systems, right? We don't have to depend on a king who decided that he really likes the wine from here in his benevolence, fortunately. But it is helpful to know that all of this existed because they wanted to make people know that the wine from here was something unique, something special, just like your business. So members of the Jargon actually held a Vinters brand, or hot stamp, that was used to burn a mark onto each barrel so they could limit forgery. And these guys were actually authored to destroy any wine, any bottle, any barrel that was deemed unworthy of the Saint-Emilion label, literally smashing them so that the Saint-Emilion name wouldn't be damaged, so that their reputation couldn't be weakened. Where kings and Brotherhood once guarded authenticity, your federal registration for a mark with the US Patent and Trademark Office does that now with clear legal power instead of needing a band of brothers to come and smash barrels. Today, Saint-Emilion's modern physical defenses include everything from serialized labels to high-tech bubble tags that actually trace every bottle from vineyard to table through the entire distribution process. But this region has been a core part of evolving the legal protections behind protecting names, the source identifier, as the USPTO calls it. Physical tools like holograms, serialized packaging, bubble tags only work when your customer recognizes them and knows their meaning. They have to be part of a multi-layered process for true brand protection. Those protections are only effective when you have a brotherhood running around destroying barrels that don't have your mark. In a slightly more modern economy, counterfeiters often start online. They buy a domain name that looks like yours, they copy your logo onto fake listings, they create a copycat storefront. Your US trademark will give you the legal basis to take those down in the United States, to demand the removal of the infringing content, reclaim domains, even get fake storefronts completely removed. So legal protection gives you the power, but the power alone doesn't sell the bottle of wine, right? Or the single product online. That trust is built when people believe what they're buying comes from somewhere real. Look, consumers love a good story, especially one that feels authentic. That's why the phrase made in Italy or single origin or from a family vineyard in Bordeaux will let you immediately command higher prices and frankly reap some of the costs that come with trying to import back into the US, especially right now. People want to know the product comes from somewhere specific, somewhere that means something to them. They want the story. That's why having a name like this on a label immediately tells you there's heritage, standards, origin, and a story that Americans want to buy and are happy to pay for. That's why Santamillion spent so much time trying to protect their AOC before they started coming up with these fancy technological seals. Things that can be copied easily enough, especially in this day and age, but knowing that nobody else being able to call themselves Santamillion was always going to protect them. A US trademark is going to do the same thing for you entering the US. It lets your customers, your distributors, and even investors know that the name on the label is going to mean something. So you've built something real, something that people trust. Now, before you share it with the world, especially in the United States, we've got to make sure that it's legally protected and why. Because the US plays by very different rules on trademarks than the rest of the world. For the overwhelming majority of the world, trademarks, when they're registered, immediately gain legal protection for the trademark holder. In the United States, it's the first person to use it. And what most international brands don't know when they're entering the US is that if they don't do the search to make sure there's no one already using the same name, they're going to get shut down at the border because somebody else already has the rights to do that. So doing that search is going to be crucial. Most non-US attorneys won't understand that this is going to save you mountains of headaches. It puts their entire US expansion kind of dead in the water. If you're planning to enter the US, please do not assume that your brand is automatically safe. The US rewards first use, not first paperwork. And this one detail has cost international brands millions. If you want to grab our international trademark checklist, down in the description, it tells you exactly why we check for conflicts, when to file, and explains how you can protect your brand before your first sale. So let's talk about the cost of skipping the legal foundation, of skipping that search, of skipping the trademark registration. International brands pretty often assume that their existing mark, their registrations already outside of the US, might give them automatic protection. But in the US, entering the market without first verifying that you are the only one in that space can force you into costly rebranding, litigation, and certainly lost revenue. Your stuff can be stopped at the border by CPD, which is something that we want for you, not for your competitors. Securing your US trademark before the launch actually gives you the confidence to expand into this new market that you've spent so much time, so much money researching how to get into with a lot less risk. I want you to think of each stage like a different layer in this building. A year and a half might seem like a long time, but it's what the amount of time that the USPTO needs right now, given their current staffing, to make sure that your brand is going to be the only one of its name entering the US market, selling the thing that you're selling. Your Gerard, your Brotherhood, it looks like the Customs and Border Patrol. Once your trademark is secured, you unlock the full power of US brand protection. Customs and Border Protection can seize counterfeits at the border, so they never even hit the shelves. Amazon Brand Registry and other platforms will remove your infringing listings fast, much, much faster than if you don't have this thing. We're talking weeks instead of months, and in some cases, even days. Domain recovery tools like the UDRP can take down rogue websites that copy your entire website. That becomes your enforcement network, your 21st century Brotherhood, guarding your reputation day and night, not just when some guy's awake with a hot branding iron. For most of these preventative measures, though, you need a US trademark to even access them. Much faster resolutions than sending cease and desist letters or filing lawsuits in various US courts to chase down each one. Without this legal foundation, even the best security features, no matter whether you put them on a bottle of wine or the service you're providing, are just a fancy sticker. The real strength lies in your right to enforce them without needing to literally go smashing barrels. So, Santamillion understands that protecting its valuable brand really starts with establishing and defending its legal designation, whether that be as its point of origin, the brand on the bottle, the logos on the labels, all of it. It's all worth protecting. If you're ready to bring your business into the US, making sure that you have your registered trademark, it's a fundamental legal right that you can use as the primary tool for fighting counterfeit and building a trustworthy brand. So, if all of that sounds good, don't leave your brand vulnerable. Grab our international trademark checklist. It turns the legalese into understandable words to help you navigate what it looks like in the US trademark process. That way you know exactly what it is you're getting into. If this was helpful, go ahead and like this video. Leave any questions that you have. We make new videos every 2 weeks, and we'll try to get to them as soon as we can. Thank you.